Alrighty guys, so I already recorded the shop update less than 20 minutes ago. And then I couldn't walk away for the night. So, we're going to ignore the shop update. Y'all know nothing's really changed over there except for one thing I'm going to cover. The one thing I'm going to cover, Eric's motor is together. Specs, exactly dead nut across the board, 2 thou rod bearing clearance, oil clearance. And then the mains are floating right between a 1 and a 1.5 across the board. Okay? I could finesse that, but that's well within my acceptable. Head to piston 33.5, I believe. I got to look that up. But anyway, the rod bolts are torqued to stretch, not torqued to spec, and they are stretched to 5.2 thou, which is dead nut in the middle of where it's supposed to be. But we're going to make this a short one because, as you can tell, there's smoke in here. Well, that's because something was pig rich to begin with. But anyway, I have been fighting and struggling with an ms3 bike. Because, and this comes down to the AMP EFI ms3, the firing order is hardwired, hard programmed. No, it's not hard programmed. They just locked the program. Okay, ms3 only gives you access to what you want to. Apparently that's something that only Motec, Fuel Tech, and Max ECU can do, is change the firing order on the fly. So I had to hardwire it in, and I hardwired it in per the manual. Ignition A to cylinder 1, ignition B to cylinder 2, ignition C to cylinder 4, and ignition D to cylinder 3, because the firing order is 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3. Well, apparently I'm wrong on that somehow, or the pinout that I found online is backwards, because apparently the firing order is 4, 3, 1, 2. Or I read it backwards. There is a possibility of that. I'm 99% sure, because everything I've ever done was left to right as you're sitting on the bike is 1, 2, 3, 4. But apparently this one is 4, 3, 2, 1. Which makes sense because most manufacturers go off cam chain side. But I've always gone off of white with a blue tracer being coil number 1. Apparently green is coil number 1 because... Still needs some tuning. It does. And that skip at idle, it has that with the stock ECU. So I did confirm. Hold on a sec. I'll just set you down and do this quick. Joys of a plug and play. This is the stock map, stock ECU, and those are stock injectors. Great part about a plug and play. The only thing that's not hooked up is a map sensor, so there is a possibility that it's just so fat at idle, which would make sense. So, we'll see if that skip tunes out of it. It actually just dawned on me that my stock ECU doesn't have a map sensor, so it's fat as hell at idle, which explains why my eyeballs are burning, and also the fact that I had to pull out of the tune I started with. So when we had it running before, I have had to pull an ungodly amount of fuel out. Like, you're seeing hundreds here. Yeah, those are now 60s. So, where I was idling in the 50-60 VE range, it is now idling in the 15 VE range, which is a much better number. That makes sense. So I need to sit down, rebuild that table, because right now it's set at 1 bar just for quick, easy testing. I need to scale that table out for the full 3 bars. I still need to put a reference line on the turbo. I got a lot of little stuff to button up, right? But I wanted to hear it run. So lots of little stuff to button up, lots of little stuff to wire in and test, and we will move onward and upward from there. I do also have to call AMP EFI because for some reason, so I saw it in the settings is why I want to do this. Boost control allows the output selected to be a frequency in channel. So I'm going to holler at them and see if that can be an output channel. It may be invertible. You know what I mean? So I'm going to holler at them. But my eyeballs are burning, and I'm tired. I got a whole line up here, but the ms3 bike is running. So I got about this weekend worth of buttoning up to do to get that thing dyno ready, and then we're going to hit the roller.